and welcome to Organization Night at WCTV. Each year we do an organization night where we invite nonprofits to come in and tell the town what they do, who belongs to them, what their function is, what their goals are. And tonight, one of the interviewers will be Walter Collins.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I'm filling in for our good friend Tom Pizzera, who's a little bit under the weather tonight. Hope you're feeling better, Tom.
So this evening, we're going to speak with several people from different organizations, and we're going to split up so that we each have one person to interview and ask a lot of questions to. So Walter, you're on first.
Well, first up, we have Marilyn Lamson with Friends of the Wilmington Library. Marilyn, how are you this evening?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Friends of the Library? That's an organization that's...
The Friends were organized about 12 years ago in 1997 to support the library in ways that the town budget cannot support. At the time, they were going for the new library, and there was a lot of excitement and a lot of organization around getting that passed through. When it didn't pass through, they regrouped and decided to help the library reformat the inside of the library, enhance the decoration, reorganize the way things were set up inside the library, and we helped with buying some furniture, some display units, shelving. We help with programming. Oh gosh, the book drop.
And like so many other things in beautiful Wilmington, that's a volunteer group.
It's 100% volunteer, and we will always accept new members.
And I understand the bookstore next door is doing very well.
The bookstore next door has been a tremendous asset to the community. It's a triple win. It's a place to recycle books, it's a place to buy books, and it's a place to go in and meet friends and just spend an afternoon browsing. We love to have you, and it's just been great. It's been a tremendous support for the library, and it's very affordable.
Now, these books are of all types, not only novels and autobiographies, also reference books?
We don't have a lot of reference books because they don't seem to sell. With the internet and the availability of reference materials next door at the library, that's not really something that most people are looking to purchase for their homes. Novels, biographies, cookbooks, even religion books, science fiction. We have just about everything that your typical bookstore would have.
Now, my elderly mother really likes Danielle Steele. Do you have Danielle Steele books?
We have a million Danielle Steele books. We have all the popular authors.
Very good. And how can local residents get involved with the Friends of the Library?
We would love to have you involved. You can sign up for membership at the Friends. There are membership forms at the library and at the bookstore. And you can just purchase a membership and just be a friend. You can be as involved as you want to be. We would love to have people involved. Come to our programs, help out with the programs, help out at the bookstore, do a little fundraising, do a little community outreach, anything that you'd like to do and you have a talent for, we can use you.
Now, I understand you have a few events coming up, is that right?
Well, we just had Friends of the Library Week, the last full week in October. We had expanded library hours, and we finished the week off with the Apple Festival and the Apple Pie Bake-Off at the library. That was a lot of fun. And that week, we also managed to get out our annual appeal mailing. Which we do, of course, annually every year in the fall. We moved it up a little bit this year to coincide with Friends of the Library Week, and also to get it just a little bit removed from the hectic pace of the holidays. So that should have hit everybody's mailbox in the last week or so, and we hope to raise some money to improve our technology at the library.
And local residents can also read about what's happening at the Friends at the library in the town crier every week, correct?
In the town crier, just about every week. Our website is always kept up to date. It's a tremendous resource. I believe that Robert even has us on Twitter and Facebook. So Robert is one of our younger members, and he keeps us technologically connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, the young people seem to be able to pick up on that real quick.
Yes, they do.
Very good.
So I would like to say that the annual appeal is targeting technology for our meeting rooms this year. And we'd like to be able to install a ceiling-mounted projector, a screen that can just go up out of the way, so that when we have programs, we can have more involved programs, and the librarians don't have to spend a lot of time setting things up ahead of time. And we'd have up-to-date capabilities for our presentations there.
So if someone wanted to donate to Friends of the Library, they could go to the website or come down to the library, is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
And what is can you give us the website?
Actually, I think if you just Googled Wilmington Memorial Library, you could get the URL there. I always have it on a bookmark, so I never type it in.
Right. Okay. And is there anything you'd like to add?
Just come on down and visit us. Patronize the bookstore, be a friend, make a friend, and we'd love to have you.
Very good. Well, thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Sandra?
Thank you, Walter. I'm here with Peter McGinn, Assistant Superintendent of Schools at Wilmington Public Schools. And Peter's been here with us for?
Beginning my third year.
Third year, okay. And maybe you could tell us what's happening in the district.
Well, an awful lot of excitement, Sandra. This is year 4 of the school committee and superintendent's strategic plan, the 5-year plan. So we're continuing on in pursuit of the goals that, for the most part, focus on student achievement, increasing student achievement, but include other aspects such as continuing on the process of pursuing a new high school, adding the further integration of technology to classrooms and to our teachers' group of resources. And also we're trying to make much better use of student performance data in order to help our instruction and again to assist students in achieving to higher levels. Another big happening this year is the 10-year accreditation process for Wilmington High School. Once every 10 years, each public high school in Massachusetts undergoes an accreditation review. And this is culminating this March when a visiting team of approximately 15 educators will be in Wilmington for 3.5 to 4 days with their white gloves, checking us out and interviewing students, interviewing parents, interviewing teachers, and really putting us under very close scrutiny to see if we're measuring up. So we're looking forward to that process. The high school's the faculty and students have been hard at work on this accreditation process for the last 3 years. The principal, Eric Tracy, has had the faculty in a very good schedule that has left us ready and prepared and waiting for the visiting team to come in March. The other exciting event here is we were recently awarded 2 grants, a $7,000 grant that we're going to be focusing on the intermediate schools.
Oh, excellent.
And focusing on creating challenges for those youngsters who have demonstrated the need for greater challenges. Formerly, we would refer to these youngsters as gifted and talented. So we're excited about doing that this year. And then we were invited to participate in a Teaching American History grant, which was begun by Senator Robert Byrd for the purpose that you might gather from the title, to better provide content knowledge to teachers about American history. And that's a $1 million grant over 3 years. So it's going to provide our teachers with very rich professional development, and I think that will result in students learning things about our country's history that they wouldn't necessarily have learned without this $1 million grant. So those are a couple of things that are going on.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Here at WCTV, we're trying to firm up a better relationship, not that we don't have a good relationship, but a more full relationship with the schools and the students. We have quite a few high school students now that are doing radio shows from here, and they have their own thing, they do their own thing, it's wonderful. And we have quite a few students who edit videos for the teachers, and who also will videotape in the classroom when the teacher needs it. So we're really trying to get all of that going at once.
And if I might add, the superintendent's, included in the superintendent's goals is to provide greater information to the Wilmington community about its public schools. And the WCTV is clearly a way to do that. And just the other day, as you know, we had some of the students over videotaping some of our workshops that our teachers were involved in. So I look forward to working with you and with WCTV on making greater use of WCTV for the purpose of providing the community better insight into what's going on in our schools.
Well, just in this week alone, because of the kids videotaping those workshops and the keynote speaker, we have 3 programs that'll be going on the air covering some of the things that the teachers heard at the workshops. And so it's exciting. We're working together. We have a good deal going here. So, okay. Anything else you'd like to add, Peter?
I don't think so. Just thank you for the invitation to come down to organization night and share a little bit about the public schools. And it's always a pleasure to see you and the rest of the staff around here. So,
thank you.
And your wonderful new facility is quite a change from visiting you in the basement of...
no bugs.
Right.
It's no mold. It's so nice.
Right.
It's so nice. Peter, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Sandra.
Okay. Walter?
I'm here with Carolyn Harris of the Wilmington Historical Commission. And Carolyn, good evening.
Good evening. Thank
Nice
you
to
for
see you.
inviting us.
Thank you for coming in.
Okay.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Historical Commission?
The Historical Commission was founded in 1973. It is the organization of the town government that's responsible for the preservation, conservation, and public education of our historical resources. It's a commission. I'm here speaking on behalf of the other 6 members of the commission. There are 7 in all. And they are Bonnie Smith, Kathleen Reynolds, Julie Fennell, Bob Butters, Jerry Duggan, and Bill Campbell. In addition, Ann Berghaus is our clerk, and Terry McDermott, who is the curator of the Wilmington Town Museum at the Hardin Tavern, is an integral member of the Historical Commission. The commission meets on the second Monday of the month. We meet at the Town Museum. The meetings start at 7:30, and of course, the public is always welcome. We enjoy having people come in and you know, help us with any problems we have and give us some feedback of what we are currently working on.
And the commission was instrumental in saving the Butters Farm building, correct?
Yeah, to give an update, the Butters Farm project, I call it now. Who would have thought it would take years to get things going here, but we were very fortunate to save this building. It's a first period house. We have done some assessment work. This year we were the recipient of a $45,000 matching preservation grant. Currently, we are awaiting the final contracts from the Mass Historical Commission. Once that we have those, then an RFP will go out. We're working with Lynn Spencer of Mendez and Torres, who is our historical architects, and then we will begin working on the rehabilitation of the building. I'm hoping, and I always say hoping, that as soon as the snow is gone, that we'll be working over there this year. You know, it's a very exciting project. Just to save the building is a very exciting project for the Historical Commission.
And then the Historical Commission also was instrumental in saving the West School, is that correct?
The West Schoolhouse, in 2005, we were able, with the Shawsheen School, to renovate the schoolhouse. Our goal on the commission was always to renovate it and to return it to the town so that it could be used for office space. This year, I'm very pleased about this. The West Schoolhouse will become, or has become, I guess, because he's already moved in, Lou Samaglia's, the Veterans Agent's office. The historical exhibit that is within the building has remained, and certainly the public is welcome anytime to go in and to view the historical pictures and memorabilia that we have in the building.
Now, when you say residents are welcome to come down, is there so-called visiting hours?
I would say it's office hours when Lou is there.
So 9 to 3, let's say.
Probably, yeah.
All right.
Call first, right?
Give a call down there before you stop in.
The other project, of course, I think the citizens of Wilmington are aware that last April we lost a significant landmark in Wilmington with the town pound being dismantled for personal reasons. The pound was part of the Village Historic District on the National Register. And the person, unfortunately, was on private property. In the past, we had been able to negotiate with owners, but in this case, the owner wanted it removed. The rocks and boulders were numbered and lettered, and they were moved to town-owned property. So a big project we have going right now is the reconstruction or rebuilding of our history to put this back together.
Now, when you say numbered and lettered, prior to taking it apart?
Well, there had been damage to it, but the numbering and the lettering was done when the majority of stones were in place. So we do have an RFP that is out, and if anybody is interested in sending in a bid for this project, they can certainly contact the Wilmington Historical Commission or the town offices.
Now, if a local resident has pictures, let's say, or artifacts of historical significance, could they contact the Historical Commission for donation?
We certainly welcome that. The Historical Commission, because we oversee historical properties, we oversee the Wilmington Town Museum, and we couldn't ask for a better curator than Terry McDermott. So if anybody has pictures or materials of historical significance, we really encourage them to contact the Town Museum, to contact Terry. That would be great.
Yeah, we're actually putting together right now a video of the dismantling, I like to call, as opposed to demolition, of the Swain School. And one of our members here has a friend who has pictures of the first graduating class, as well as the last graduating class, and
Wonderful.
pictures of the day the school opened.
Wow.
Now, and having worked in what I always called the belly of the Swain School in the old WCTV, that should be very interesting.
Very, very interesting. I would also like to mention that, it's hard economic times, but The commission is certainly accepting donations for both the Butters Farm as well as our rebuilding of the town pound. Very recently, the Minutemen, we truly like to work with various organizations, and the Wilmington Minutemen have come forth and have offered to do some fundraising for us in the form of like a spaghetti dinner or something that's in the planning stages at this time. But I also, we work with the Garden Club, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. I'm very thrilled. We will have our 4th Eagle Scout project done with the Historical Commission this year, so it's very exciting to work. The library, Friends of the Library, I think we're truly a commission and an organization in terms of the town museum that likes the teamwork effect. We're all in it because we love Wilmington, essentially.
Well, the spirit of volunteerism certainly lives in Wilmington. I think
does,
anybody
absolutely.
that lives in the town would agree on that. 4th of July.
Oh, absolutely,
huh?
Absolutely.
Well, so if a resident wants to donate cash, and that would be real nice, send out some cash.
Any donation would be nice.
What would be the best way to contact you?
Contact me through the Wilmington Town Museum. The number is in the telephone book. Or you could contact me at home, 978-658-8649, and I certainly get back to you, that's for sure.
Well, sounds good. Well, is there anything you'd like to add, Carolyn?
Just that the commission, again, has enjoyed a very fruitful existence, co-working with the various organizations. I want to thank WCTV. They've done some filming at the town museum. They've always been very responsive to any questions or, activities that we've come up with or needs that we've had, and we truly appreciate that. And I particularly want to thank the citizens of the town of Wilmington for their support. Our town museum has grown leaps and bounds, with the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, groups that come through, educational groups, and it's because of the spirit of the town of Wilmington, and we really appreciate everything they've done for us.
Well, we're always building up our membership base here at WCTV, so if you come up with a project you'd like to film, you be sure and contact us.
Definitely.
All right, and being an organization member of WCTV, you can certainly come down and utilize the facilities anytime you like.
Yeah, I saw that conference room. It's absolutely beautiful.
Sweet, isn't it?
The facility is beautiful.
Well, feel free to go down and
Congratulations.
have a couple of munchkins if you like.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I'm here with Maureen Stevens and talk about the spirit of volunteerism in Wilmington. You're a parent volunteer of the CATS group.
Correct.
Chorale and Theater Support.
Correct.
Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. We're a parent support group for the Wilmington High School choral and theater programs. And what we do is fundraise to bring in scholarship money for the seniors of each class. We started that in 2008, giving away scholarships, and we did it again in 2009. And we want to continue that tradition of giving away scholarships. We've increased it each year. We added one more to 2009. We're hoping to keep increasing that. And we also fundraise for things that may not be budgeted for the theater programs. We purchased for the high school a white curtain, as they call it a cyc, but it's a white curtain that goes in the back that they project images on, and it was a welcome addition to his programs. They love it. And the way we fundraise is through lobby sales at the musicals, which are very, very popular. Last year, they did 4 performances, and we had a lobby at each one of them. We sell flowers, message grams, raffle baskets, and pictures, still pictures of the kids doing their performances.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. They were very, very popular, and that is a big fundraiser for us. We're also at the 4th of July. We have a booth. We sell popcorn, and that's very popular on the night of the fireworks. We are always looking for additional parent support for those who are in any of the programs. They have a cappella group, they have a choral group, they have the theater group, and they have also an improv troupe, which is a comedy act that performs many times throughout the year as well. So any of the parents that are parents of those students or any alumni students that would like to join in, we're always looking for support. We need a lot of support when the plays come and we have to do all the selling and running around and doing all that, and to help Jason Luciano with his programming. We just try to do that in any way we can.
So he's the teacher involved?
He is the director and the teacher.
Both theater and chorale?
Yes, he is.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yes, he does that. And we also have a website that we're very proud of. We have an alumni parent that runs it, and it is filled with information, and it also has a video jukebox on it that you can see. It has about, I want to say 17 maybe, different audio and video performances of past performances of the kids throughout the last few years. And you can just click on it, and it'll give you probably a 3-minute shot of the performance. It's really a lot of fun.
Now, approximately how many kids are involved with all the groups together?
With all the groups together, there's well over 100.
Oh.
You know, he has a lot of children involved that are in it. And
is it just the high school?
it's just the high school.
It is just the high school. Wow.
It is
so
just the high
100.
school.
Wow.
He
Good
has-
representation.
He does have a very big drama program and chorus program. He now has started an after-school chorus program as well. So he does that, and you know, like I say, that's what we want to do, is support that and consistently give out scholarships. And we've only been in existence since 2007. The group was started by Laura Brophy. So she's a parent volunteer still. She has a son in the high school, and she has a daughter who graduated, and she was also in the drama program as well. And also, I think, the president of the drama club.
Do you know what theater programs will be presented this year? Have they been chosen yet?
Yes, I do. Actually, it's...
That was a good question.
Yeah, it's Songs for a New World, and they are actually, I'm just going to make sure I don't say the dates wrong. They are going to be both Friday, January 15th, and Saturday, January 16th, and as well as Friday, January 22nd, and Saturday, January 23rd.
And how much are the tickets?
I'm not sure of the tickets. The tickets are driven by Jason Luciana, and he will have they're always, the prices are very reasonable, and he generally has ticket prices maybe a little bit more for students, student-driven or senior-driven, as well as just the adult.
Well, with all the programs running in January, I mean, with that program running in January, that's probably a good gift to get for somebody for Christmas.
It is, and we also, like I said, we hope that the parents will hold off purchasing flowers at the outside of the lobby. We'd like them to buy inside of the lobby, and we'll keep them fresh for them.
Okay.
And hold them for them, and they can make out a card there and buy a little message-gram and...
For their actor or singer.
Right, for their
Okay.
favorite little performer.
Yeah.
And we also have an upcoming in March. It's on Friday, March 12th. It's called Marchapella. It's our second time having this, and we have local a cappella groups as well as a national one as well. It's called Ball in the House. It's coming in, and Soundscape is the high school a cappella group. They're always featured, and we generally have 2 more acts. We have a couple in mind that haven't been confirmed, and generally that is held. And it's, again, it's a fundraiser for our programs, and it's just a lot of fun. They have a lot of...
Actually, last year, every year we run messages to the troops, and I believe Ball in the House performed on the CD that we sent to the troops.
Yes.
From Wilmington last year, so.
They're great.
We're doing that next week, so I'm going to give them a call.
Yeah, they're
See if they
great.
want to perform again.
Right. So we're always looking for parent volunteers, or if you're an alumni that likes to volunteer, you can just visit our website, and all of the officers are listed, and you can just click on there and send us a little note, or if there's any type of item that you'd like to donate for our baskets that we're going to be putting together for these January performances, we'd be more than happy to accept that and make it into a beautiful little basket.
Okay. Now, does it cost anything for parents to join the
No,
group?
nothing. It's just, and you can, contribute as much as you can as far as time, or we'll take any type of contribution, even if it's just one night of the performances. Our meetings are held generally the fourth Monday of the month at 7 o'clock at the high school auditorium, and they are up on the website as well. And it just kind of works around a little bit around the rehearsal schedule of the performances, so we might move to another location, but...
And what's your website address?
The website address is www.wilmingtoncats.org.
Okay, CATS
It
for choral and theater support.
Correct.
Okay, great.
right.
Well, thank you very much. That
Thank
was
you.
very nice. Do you want to say anything else?
No, just thank you so much for having us, and I love the new facility.
Great, thank you very much.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Walter?
Well, as you've heard, Wilmington is blessed with many historical sites, and not the least of which is the Harnden Tavern. We have Terry McDermott here, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the Harnden Tavern and things that are happening down there.
I will. The Harnden Tavern at the Town Museum, the Wilmington Town Museum at the Colonel Joshua Harnden Tavern is our full name, and I'm the curator of the Town Museum. And the building is owned by the Town of Wilmington, so I'm a town employee, and people can come to the Town Museum on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2, the first Sunday of the month, one Wednesday afternoon a month, and for different events as they come up during the year. We have them advertised and scheduled. You can come to the Town Museum to learn about the house, to learn about the people who lived there, and to learn about the history of the town of Wilmington as well. It's a really, really interesting building, and we have a lot of interesting artifacts that people have donated to us to illustrate either the history of the town of Wilmington or maybe other aspects of history as well. And coming up in the soonest, I should say, is next week, actually Veterans Day. We are going to have a military exhibit. This is actually, we're going on the road, though. We are taking our exhibits to the 4th of July building. This will be on Veterans Day in conjunction with the Veterans Day exercises downtown. We'll open the 4th of July building at 10 o'clock, and people can come in and see the different things that we have, different military artifacts. We'll have the George Spanos panels out, which people who have lived in Wilmington a while may have heard of them before. George Spanos was a Wilmington resident who collected photographs of Wilmington's World War II servicemen, and we have a very large collection of them, and everybody always gets a kick out of it when we put them out because people can look at the pictures. There's hundreds of them, and some of them are identified and some of them aren't. And we always, every time we take them out, we always have at least one person who comes and identifies anew a picture of somebody that was their brother or their father or something we didn't know. So that's exciting. And we'll also have that exhibit open Veterans Day evening, 6 to 8, at the 4th of July building, because a lot of people, unfortunately, do have to work on Veterans Day, so we wanted people to have a chance to see the exhibit at night as well.
And they kept plenty of parking down there at the 4th of July building.
Yes, it's a great place for parking, and it's very accessible. Everybody knows where it is. And then the other big event coming up at the tavern itself is the holiday social, which the Friends of the Harnden Tavern put on, and that will be December 6th, the first Sunday of December, from 1 to 4. It is a fabulous event. Anybody who's been in Wilmington for a while has probably been there at least once. The Friends of Harnden Tavern, which are sort of like the Friends of the Library in that they support our building. They decorate the museum, or the tavern itself, and they come dressed in period costume. They offer all sorts of delicious refreshments. There's usually musical entertainment. I'm working to get some Cub Scouts to do Christmas carols this year. We usually have somebody singing Christmas carols. We'll have somebody playing a harp, I believe. We may have a guitar singer. But we always have different events like that. And there'll be a children's table. The holiday social is a really great thing to bring your whole family to, because the Friends will have a table set up upstairs where children can make Christmas tree decorations and things like that. So that is probably the biggest event of the year for the Friends. So the Friends are great, and actually we were hoping to have some of the Friends here with us tonight, and they may still show up. But that's an organization people interested in the Harnden Tavern can get involved with. And they could call me at the museum, because sometimes it's easier to reach me. The number there is 978-658-5475. And if you're interested in learning more about the Friends, going to their meetings, I can set you up with all of that. They meet, I think it's the third Wednesday of the month at the museum. And you can also call me at the museum to make arrangements to donate things. I know you were talking to Carolyn Harris about that earlier, because I work with the Historical Commission on different things that people might want to donate, and that's always very exciting. And you can also call to make an appointment to visit, because I know that I am really try to be very flexible as far as, although I do have stated hours, posted hours, Tuesdays and Thursdays 10 to 2, but I open for groups all the time. For example, the Cub Scouts, the Girl Scouts, they're always making different appointments to come whenever is convenient for them, usually the evening. So you can always call and leave a message. You could also email me at htavern at town.wilmington.ma.us. I check my email every day, check the phone almost every day, so I can usually get back in touch with people within 24 hours, 48 hours, if they want to make some sort of arrangement to come and visit.
And if they happen to forget that number, I'm sure they can get that in the town book, correct?
It is in the town book, and it's on the, I believe it's on the town website, the official town website, www.town.wilmington.ma.us, and then you click on community links, and Harnden Tavern is listed there. The Historical Commission is also, I believe, a separate link on that page.
So donations of, whether it be cash or check donation, as well as...
Yes, you can call me to talk about that sort of thing, too, and I would be in touch with whoever. If it's something for the Historical Commission, I'd be talking to Carolyn Harris and presenting it to the members of the Historical Commission. But yes, I work with them all the time, so I am probably sometimes an easier person for people to get in touch with, because they know where I am. I'm at the museum, and the commission members are all about living their life and working their job. So I'm usually the easiest contact person if you want to get in touch with the Historical Commission.
And the Minutemen meet at the tavern.
They have most of their meetings they have in their headquarters, which are on our property, but it's a separate building. And they may tell you about that, as I saw them. I know they're here today. But occasionally they do have meetings in our building, and they're very supportive of the things we do. And I hope we're supportive of what they do, too. They have helped us out with a great many things, and a lot of times when the Friends put on events, the Minutemen will be there to help or to participate. The Harvest Festival, which we just had in September of this past year, was very successful, and the Friends, including Joyce Murray, put that on, and the Minutemen helped with it. They were in costume. I think they actually helped us with parking cars as well, but they also demonstrated colonial crafts and things of that nature. I'm actually, oftentimes when we have events, I'm pretty busy inside the museum giving tours, so I don't always see all the excitement that goes on outside, but I know that the Friends and the Minutemen put on a very good show, so.
And the tavern is located again on Middlesex Ave, and...
The official address is actually 430 Salem Street. It's on Route 62. The streets there get a little funny with the names, but the easiest way to remember is I'm on Route 62, going towards North Reading on the left, right before you get to the medical center, the Winchester Hospital Medical Center, I believe it is. And we do have some parking right next door, and if there's an event, we usually have somebody helping with parking, because I know some people can be a little challenged with parking there. But we do have some spaces, and we usually have people helping direct people to spots if we expect a crowd.
So the next event will be
The holiday
Veterans
social.
Day.
Well, the Veterans Day, right, the Veterans Day on the Common, and then the next event at the tavern itself would be the holiday social on December 6th.
Very good. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think I've said everything. Just as Carolyn Harris said, I thank the town for its support. Where it's the Harnden Tavern and the Town Museum is an awesome place to work. I get to meet wonderful people. I get to learn all sorts of things about our town. I get to see really cool things. So just thank everyone for supporting us, and hope they continue to.
Well, thank you for being an organization member, WCTV.
I have with me Lou Samaglia, and Lou is the Director of Veterans Affairs and the founder of the Local Heroes. And he was telling me the Local Heroes just celebrated their 5th year. Maybe you could tell us how that got started.
I will, Sandra, and thank you for having me here tonight. But before I start, I'd like to keep in the prayers all the soldiers that were killed out at Fort Hood today out in Texas, and the 30-plus that were injured. Local Heroes is a nonprofit organization that I founded in 2004, and since that time, with the help of many organizations and many companies, we have sent 9,913 packages overseas to the troops. And last night was our 5th anniversary that we've met on a Wednesday night. Since November 3rd, 2004, we have not missed 1 week that we have met to pack
excellent,
packages
yeah.
and ship them over
Lot
to the
of
troops.
support.
A lot of support, a
Yeah.
lot of help, yes. Yes.
We're doing, at WCTV, we do messages for the troops, and I believe at Christmas time, those DVDs go in the packages that you send out.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
This will be, I believe, the 3rd year that WCTV has done that. They've sent a film crew down there on a Wednesday night to videotape some of the packages being packed and take messages from the families that come down on Wednesday night. And then, obviously, you have hours here that people can come in and just do a short message to the troops, thanking them. And
Right, and it doesn't have to be their direct relative, it could be a friend.
A friend,
It could be
right.
someone they just want to say hi to.
Right.
It's really a wonderful thing to do, and we're videotaping that on next Thursday. So if you have any interest in that, call the station and sign up for a time and to come in to say a message, do a little song, do whatever you want.
That's right.
To kind of cheer up the troops and give them a good feeling for the holidays.
That's right. And I know for a fact, I've heard back that when they get the CDs over there, they really enjoy seeing just even strangers, just saying, hi, welcome, thank you for what you're doing, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Thanksgiving, and all that.
And they might have seen one another around town.
Yes,
So it
that's
might,
right.
oh, yeah, that
That's
guy
right.
looks familiar, you know.
That's right.
So that adds to some of the fun of it, too.
That's right.
Well, we're so pleased to be part of honoring the troops and welcoming the troops. I say welcoming because as people returned to Wilmington, someone put up a sign for each person returning, and we put it on our daily bulletin, putting the person's name on there. So we got a big kick out of that. We
Right.
loved doing that.
That reminds me, there is another one coming home. I believe next week I'll have to call you
fill
with
in
the
the
name,
paper.
with the name and everything. But yeah, that's been something that we've started for the past few years. And the gentleman who puts the sign up for me every week likes to be behind the scenes and doesn't want to know, doesn't want to even know who
keep him
does it.
anonymous.
But you know who you are, and thank you. And the families really appreciate that as well, and they appreciate seeing the names on the message board on
Yeah,
WCTV.
absolutely. And like everything on WCTV, it doesn't run once.
Right.
No.
That's
We
right.
give it several chances to run.
That's right.
Is there anything else you'd like to say tonight, Lou? I know tonight is a sad night.
Yeah, well, it is, and I just like to remind everybody that Veterans Day is coming up next Wednesday, and as we always do, at 11 o'clock on the Common, the 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, for obvious reasons, we do our little ceremony on the Common here, invite everybody to come down, and just to thank everybody in this community. Local Heroes has been such an amazing success. The fact that we've been able to send almost 10,000 packages over, the fact that we've been able to help so many families back home, and to ship almost 10,000 packages is just a testament to so many people, so many volunteers, so many different organizations and companies that have donated. And I would be here for hours just thanking everybody, but they can always check us out on our website.
Excellent.
It's mass-localheroes.org. And we meet every Wednesday night at the Wilmington Knights of Columbus behind St. Thomas Church. And next week, the week of Thanksgiving, we'll be meeting Tuesday night, because Wednesday is a Thanksgiving Eve, and we don't want to miss a week, so we're going to meet Tuesday night.
Right, excellent. We'll keep
Okay.
it going.
Okay.
Wonderful,
Thank you very
wonderful
much for
job,
having me.
Lou.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we have a few members of the Wilmington Minutemen with us. Captain Frank West.
Correct.
Good evening, Frank.
Always a pleasure, Walter.
And Jennifer.
Nice to meet you.
And
Lieutenant Paul Rich.
Lieutenant Paul Rich. And Jennifer, you are a
Private.
private. Well, I'm sure everybody's seen the Wilmington Minutemen on parade at just about every parade we have. Every parade we have.
We're always there.
For sure. And everybody looks forward to having the muskets shot when they're in close proximity to them. I know I do. Frank, and can you tell us a little bit about the Wilmington Minutemen?
Yeah, basically we're in our 41st year. We started in 1968, the group actually started out. And basically what we do is that we're historical reenactors. We, as you stated earlier, we go to a lot of parades, we participate in parades. We are the Mayor's Honor Guard down in Boston on 4th of July. what we do is that when they have the parade in Boston, the parade stops at Granary Burial Ground. We, the Wilmington Minutemen, get out of the parade with the mayor and some dignitaries, and the mayor will place a wreath on each of the signers of the Declaration that are buried at Granary Burial Ground. And what Wilmington does, and only Wilmington, is that we'll fire a musket salute in honor to each one of those signers of the Declaration. Also, there's several times during the year, the USS Constitution goes down from the harbor and turns around to Castle Island and fires cannon salutes at the castle. What we do is, in respect to the Constitution, is we'll have 3 or 4 cannons with some other militia companies on the deck, on the platform over at Castle Island, and what we'll do is that we'll fire cannon salutes back at the Constitution. Matter of fact, last year was kind of interesting because then Vice President Dick Cheney was on the Constitution, and instead of dealing with National Park Services and some angry fishermen who don't like getting kicked off their pier early in the morning, we dealt with the Navy and the Secret Service. So it was really kind of a cool event for us that year.
Nice to rub elbows with those people, I'm sure.
And they had there was 13 of them that we counted that had machine guns. And we challenged them to a shoot between our muskets and their machine guns, but they declined.
Better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. Paul, can you tell us about some upcoming events with the Wilmington Minutemen?
Upcoming, we're going to be at the Common for the Veterans Day ceremony. We're going to be shooting a cannon salute, and then right after that, we're going to be doing, at the Rotary Park, we're going to be lowering our Liberty pole and recapping that and raising that back up. That's the pole that's right on the Rotary Park that they used to signify the freedom that we were trying to tell everybody that we were in support of the revolution. And then we'll be at the Highland Tavern with their Christmas fair on the December 6th. And then back in March, we start with our cannon musket safety course again for next year.
Now, the recreation with the pole, that happens right across from the public safety building, is that
Yes.
correct? And that's a couple of day event?
No, we're not doing it. There's not a reenactment that day. Basically, what we'll be doing is that we'll be taking the Liberty pole down. We'll be lowering the Liberty pole, and I don't know if most people notice, but there's a red stocking cap that's on top of the Liberty pole, and it's by tradition since 1976, I believe, with the Wilmington Minutemen, is that we'll take that stocking cap down, put a brand new one up, and as Lieutenant Rich said, basically what it does, it symbolizes the freedom that the Americans were looking for during the Revolutionary War. For example, like at Liberty Tree Mall, well, what that was back in colonial days, people would either take poles or trees and they would hang red stocking caps. And it was basically a snub to the British to say, we're a free people, we're not under British rules anymore.
And another member, Mike Bogner, was telling me a number of you guys marched all the way to Concord this past spring, is that correct?
Yeah, what we do is that on the Friday of Patriots Day weekend, what we do is we'll get together at midnight at our headquarters, which, as you heard earlier from Terry, is located right behind the Harndon Tavern. And what we do is we'll have a midnight breakfast. Then we regather on the Common at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're certainly welcome to join us, by the way, Walter.
I can let my hair fit right in.
There you go. And we have permission to actually live fire from the Common up to the bridge in 62, which for that night we named that Liberty Bridge. And what we do is that, as you said, we actually marched to Miriam's Corner in Concord. The past couple of years, we've had some Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts that have marched with us. And certainly, anybody from the public, if people would like to march with us, or sometimes some of the neighbors, what they'll do is that instead of being sound asleep at that weekend, they were actually sitting on their front steps waiting for us to come back, and we make sure we fire a special salute in their honor for staying up with us a little bit.
Now, could the general public get involved? How would someone get involved with the Minutemen if they were interested?
Absolutely. General public is more than invited. We invite, both single people, married people, families with kids. We love having the kids interacting with the public as well. Membership dues are very expensive. They're $10 a year.
Oh, these are tough times, Frank.
We may make special allowances, but basically what we do is we meet once a month. The second Thursday of each month, we meet at 8 o'clock at our headquarters, which, as Terry noted, is right behind the Harndon Tavern. And basically what we do is that at that meeting, we go over, how did we do at our last month's events, whatever we had to do, and what do we got upcoming in the next month or a couple of months thereabouts. But certainly, there's a simple membership application, and if people want to if they have an interest in either firing a musket, just participating in a parade in some fashion, or what we'd love to have, if somebody is interested, would be to have either a drummer or a fifer. Any type of musical accompaniment would be awesome. And we also have a website, which is wilmingtonminutemen.com, and people can...
Now, that's a tough one to remember, is that wilmingtonminutemen.com.
It's kind of hard to say that a Minuteman has a website, but...
But it's Minutemen, not Minuteman.
Minutemen. Minutemen.com.
Very good. And Paul,
WilmingtonMinutemen.com.
Paul, do you have anything to add?
I don't think so.
How about you, Jen?
If anybody has any interest, please sign up. It is a very good family-oriented program. My own 2 kids are involved, and they have a blast with walking. We do a lot with the parades, a lot of history, lots of education. It's a very good event.
Just another great thing that's happening in Wilmington, right?
Yeah. The other one last thing, Walter, is if any school group or any local group is interested in having any type of an event that wants colonial type attire, we're more than welcome to participate if we can. So if anybody wants us, just give us a shout, and be happy to give it a little talk. Because sometimes we've gone to local schools and given a little bit of talk about the Revolution, and obviously things are geared towards particular age groups.
Right. So I'm sure scouting is something that would have an interest in the Minutemen. You probably have had tours for the scouts down there?
Actually, what we did was Paul and Jen Rich are also involved in scouting. Well, actually, we're all involved in the scouting program, but particularly Paul and Jen over the last couple of years, one of the things that we've done is that we've had the young kids and scouts make what we call marshmallow muskets, where what they do is that instead of firing a round musket ball, they fire mini marshmallows. So, and there's an event in June that's called a Cub Muster, where they get Cub Scouts from all over the area, and that's one of the things that they'll do is that they'll actually have a battle where they'll fire mini marshmallows at each other. It's kind of cool.
So, that sounds interesting. Well, anything you'd like to add?
No, I just want to thank WCTV for allowing us the opportunity to come down. And again, if anybody's interested in joining us, please feel free to give us a call. Most of the members, our numbers are in the book through the website, or certainly, call Town Hall, or now WCTV. Walter knows that number, and just give us a call.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Always happy to have you down here at WCTV.
Always a pleasure, Walter.
Thank
you very much.
Good night, Jen.
Thank you.
Night, Paul.
Jay Sheen is here with me. He is an assistant packmaster and has participated in one of those musters with the miniature marshmallows that they just mentioned. Could you tell me a little bit about Cub Scouting?
So, my name is Jay Sheen. I'm with the assistant packmaster with Pack 361.
Mm-hmm.
So, a little bit about Cub Scouting. What Cub Scouting tries to do, there's a number of purposes. We try to develop character in the kids. These are basically boys between the ages of, basically between 1st and 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
We try to develop character, do some spiritual development, teach them how to be good citizens, teach them the facts about being good sportsmanship and fitness, work with family values, give them a sense of personal development. A big part of Cub Scouting is they can get active in various activities and achieve awards. So it's that we want to give them that sense of personal development.
Is it badges? Do they get badges?
There's badges for various ranks as the kids get older and go through the grades, which are really, we call them different dens. They start off as tigers, proceed into wolves, then bears, and then finally Weeblos Scouts, which really, in essence, gets to one of the bigger purposes of Cub Scouts, and that is to prepare them to be Boy Scouts.
Oh.
So it gives them the some of the initial background into some of the ideals that are important in Boy Scouts.
Most of all, is it fun?
It is, overall, it is very fun. We try to do all these things by installing a real sense of fun and adventure. in all the activities. So basically what I try to do is, is teach the kids some real good things to do, but do it in a fun way. We try not to make it like school. The kids spend a lot of time in school and after-school activities. So what we try to do at Scouts is, is take that, a step further. And camping is also, a big thing.
I was just going to ask you about camping.
Camping is a real big thing with Scouts. We try to teach them some of the basic skills when it comes to going, being outdoorsmen, being outdoors, and the kids really love that. At least once a year, the pack goes on a camping trip in southern New Hampshire.
Oh, nice.
Kids love it.
Yeah.
So but we get to really exercise some of those skills that we teach them through the year.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, camping sounds like the be-all and end-all of why it would be so much fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's very good. Now, when do you meet, and how do kids join?
So the time to join is really, the best time to join is in September. It kind of coincides with the school year. So the best...
Have kids missed out if they haven't joined yet?
No, you can honestly, join at any time during the year.
Okay.
But the best time to join is in September, and it really coincides with the school year. And we meet, PAC 361 meets on Monday nights at the Methodist Church on Route 62, the one near the post office.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where we meet. We meet on Monday night. It's basically, each Monday night we meet for an hour, and it's either a den meeting in which we meet with the smaller groups to do activities. A den meeting could be learning about electricity or some mechanical thing.
Is there food?
There is food. We have. We teach
Boys
the kids.
will come if there's food.
We do. We teach them how to cook.
Good.
We bake cookies at least for a couple of the den meetings, and at least once a month we have something called a pack meeting in which all the dens get together and we partake in a bigger event. So a lot of times, for example, the last pack meeting we had was our annual pumpkin carving, and that's where we basically work with the kids, the parents, and the kids work together for about 40 minutes to carve pumpkins, and then we put them all up on the stage and light them up, and the kids absolutely love it. It's a great time.
Well, the thing I'm enjoying about tonight is that the Minutemen are involved with your kids. Your kids are involved with the library. The Harndon Tavern is involved with, the whole town is really cooking. I mean, things are going on.
We intertwine in a lot of ways. And in fact, one of the a popular den meeting as the kids move along in scouting is to we do the Harding Tavern. The Cub Muster is every year, and that's a great event put on by the volunteers there.
And what time of the year is that?
It's typically in June.
Oh.
Depending on the weather, of course.
Right.
But that's just one of the events, and we a big part of it too is we have at least 2 to 3 charity events through the year where the kids get a chance to to get together and give back to their community. So, for example, we have one coming up where we stuff goodie stockings, we call them, for the soldiers overseas.
Oh, good.
So we accept donations of things like toothpaste and batteries, things like that, things that the soldiers could use. The kids package them all together in these Christmas stockings, and we send them overseas.
And if someone were interested in donating towards that, would you want them to do that? And
absolutely. The person to contact, John Avernitis is our pack master, and he's with. You can get in touch with him through the church on Main Street. It's probably the easiest. The Methodist Church, easiest way to get in touch with him.
Now, do you have a child in Cub Scouts?
I do. My oldest, JJ, is a Weeblos, so he's one of the older kids in the pack, and I've got a younger son who's up and coming.
Oh, good.
So.
Now, will you graduate to Boy Scouts with your son, or will you stay with this pack?
Actually, so what I'll roll over, and I'll as my son JJ moves along to Boy Scouts, I've got a younger son, Tyler, who will come in as a Tiger next year.
Oh, good.
So they've got me for the full
excellent
5 to 10 years.
Excellent. The best way to keep the parents involved.
I am hooked for a while.
Yeah. Well, Jay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Well, I'm here with Joyce Hamlin, and we go from Boy Scouts right into Girl Scouts. And probably most people are familiar with the Girl Scouts with the Girl Scout cookies, but Girl Scouting goes way, way beyond that, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. We're actually Girl Scouts of Eastern Massachusetts. That's our council, which incorporates all of Eastern Massachusetts. So we go from the New Hampshire border all the way down to Cape Cod. And we're broken up into service units. Our service unit is Wilmington and Tewksbury. And unlike the Cub Scouts, we have about 65 troops between Wilmington and Tewksbury, almost 450 to 500 girls registered at this time. So there's 6 levels of scouting: daisies, brownies, juniors, cadets, seniors, and ambassadors. So they just changed all those levels on me, so it gets a little confusing.
Now, I'm proud to say I'm the father of an Eagle Scout. My son Buck is an Eagle Scout. I've often wondered, do the Girl Scouts have something similar to?
They do. At the senior ambassador level, the girls can earn the Gold Award. With all the changes in the levels, the requirements are just changing. So there's going to be some grandfather, where some girls are doing the old requirements and some girls are starting with the new requirements. So it isn't as involved as the Eagle Project, but they don't have to earn as many of the badges ahead of time as the boys do the required badges.
But that's not necessarily that it's any easier to obtain that status.
They do have to put a lot of time into it. Right now, the project itself has to be about 65 hours.
Now, in Cub Scouts, they have tiger cubs, very young. They have something similar for the girls?
Daisies starts kindergarten level, which is a year before the tigers. So any kindergartners out there that would like to become a Daisy Girl Scout, Daisies is kindergarten and first grade.
And just like Boy Scouting, it teaches kids how to get along with other kids of different...
It does. It teaches them about getting along. We do a lot of community service within the troop and within our service unit. Right now, we are collecting socks. There's a Wilmington 8th grader that needed some white adult socks for a shelter in Boston, and we're helping her do that. My troop just collected blankets for the Wish Project in Lowell. Parents donated old blankets and comforters, and I made several trips to the shelter with the blankets. So we do a lot of community service.
Now, if parents were interested in getting their girl in Daisy or an upper level of the Girl Scouts, how would they contact you?
They can contact me by phone, 978-851-2328, or email phamlin, Hamlyn, at Comcast.net. And I'm pretty good about returning phone calls or emails, so please give us a call. We still have plenty of room. There are still troops forming. As in Cub Scouts, you can join anytime during the year, and you don't have to be in one level to join in an upper level. So if you're in 4th or 5th grade and you think that juniors sounds really interesting, you'd like to meet with a group of girls, then it's still possible.
Now, do girls have something upcoming over the holidays?
Thanksgiving weekend, we run a roller skating party in Tingsboro, and it's for Girl Scouts and their families to come and enjoy. We do it the day after Thanksgiving. And
what's that, a roller skating rink in?
Yeah, it's a roller skating rink.
In Tingsboro, you said?
Tingsboro, yes.
Nice.
Yeah. With the number of girls in the service unit, we kind of need big space. So.
Yeah, I grew up in Medford, and we had the Ballaroo down on Mystic Ave in Medford. That was a grand time. Yeah. Roller skating now, is it 4 wheels or is it 2 wheels?
They can do either.
They can?
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time for the girls.
Yeah. The other thing I'd like to say is that if you don't want to join a troop, you can always become a Juliet. And a Juliet is a registered Girl Scout. She's eligible to do any of our service unit events, such as the roller skating, or she can also do council events that they have. She would get on the GSEM website, Girl Scouts of Eastern Mass, and register for the program she's interested at her level, and go in and enjoy Girl Scouts that way.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, is there
Okay.
anything you'd like to add?
Nope, but we have a lot of fun. I actually have 2 troops. I have an older troop. My daughter actually graduated last year and is off to college. And I have 3 girls left in that older troop, and another older girl leader and I started a younger troop a couple of years ago, and we're having a lot of fun with them as well.
It's a
So,
labor of love, for
It
sure.
is, it really is.
Yeah, my
So-
wife and I were den leader and assistant den leader.
I did,
Although I
I
was
did do
then-
Cubs too.
Yeah, it's a lot of
So,
work.
it is,
But there's
it
a
is.
lot of fulfillment in it, too.
It is, there is. That's why I've continued with it.
Well, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me.
And believe me, WCTV is at your
Disposal?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, tongue-tied, that happens. Come on down to WCTV and utilize our facilities. We got everything you need here.
Okay,
And the
I will
girls
let the
can-
troops know that. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Jo Marie O'Mahony is the president of WEF, WEF, Wilmington Education Foundation, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about that.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jo Marie O'Mahony from the Wilmington Educational Foundation. We're a nonprofit organization. Our purpose is to fundraise so that we can provide grants to all of the schools within the Wilmington Public School System. We work very closely with the administration. We actually have the superintendent and the assistant superintendent on our board, but we're independent from the school system so that the board's able to make their own decisions as to grants and fundraising activities. And we don't we like to say that we don't like to substitute budgetary items for the school. We like to supplement the budget. So our role is to add extracurricular things or extras that aren't in the budget for the school year that the teachers are looking for.
Well, you just had a program with the 3 winners of the grants from last year.
We did.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
We did. We have 3 grant programs. We have the fall program is the school grant program, which is going to be launching in the next few weeks, that we provide grants to the schools to do things like last year they did an after-school book club at one of the elementary schools, and they did an MCAS prep course at one of the elementary schools. And then in the spring, we have the Fun for Teachers program, which we allow teachers to do a summer experience that they can then bring back into the classroom. So this past summer, we had 3 teachers do these amazing experiences, which you'll see.
I want to go with them. This is fabulous.
Which you'll see in a future program because it was taped by WCTV. One teacher went for 2 weeks to Ireland, and she participated in an Education in Ireland program where she got to learn about their educational system and compare and contrast between what we have here. Another teacher went to Africa for 6 weeks, and she had amazing photography of the wildlife and the school systems there, and how impoverished some of the areas were. And then another teacher, Mrs. Iorio, went to Vancouver, and she got to preview the Winter Olympics, which
What
was
a good idea that was.
It was
That
unbelievable.
was very clever, yes.
and her pictures were so. I'm sure her students are going to love seeing her in a bobsled and
Right.
on the winners' podium and things like that.
The program is going to be running under the title Grants for Teachers.
Great.
So I think it'll be out in about 2 weeks. I just finished editing it, actually. And they did a wonderful job. And it's good to hear that those possibilities exist for the teachers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're really lucky in Wilmington. We have a really strong school system already. We're really blessed when you see the towns around us, some of them struggling with their budgets and having to make drastic cuts, that we haven't had to face that yet. So that we're still able to step in and do more of enrichment type activities right now. It's great.
Now, how long will you be president?
It's not a set term. I just took over from
dear.
I just took over from Jackie Raffi, who had been president for 3 years, and she did an amazing
She
job.
did.
So I just began my term this school year, and I'm not sure what I think our bylaws say. It's a 2 to 3 year term, but we'll see how it plays out. Maybe, but my kids are so young that I'll be on the board for quite some time, even if I'm not the president.
How old is WEF?
The Ed Foundation, I'm not sure of the exact history. I believe it began in the early 90s, and it had originally, it was part of the school business partnership. They were one unit, and then they broke apart, I believe, in the early 90s. We really became a larger organization. We became more known in the community just within the last 4 or 5 years. We've grown unbelievably. We've been able to do a lot of great fundraising activities that hadn't been done in the past, and we've been able to provide more grants than they were ever able to do in the past. And I think part of that is because now we have Joanne Benton on our board, and she really motivates us to do everything, and Jackie was an unbelievable president. She motivated us. So in the past few years that I've been on the board, it's definitely become re-energized.
So there are two distinct groups. There's the Wilmington Ed Foundation that you're involved in.
Yes.
And then there's the Wilmington School Business Partnership.
Yes.
So there's two groups going to support students and teachers.
Absolutely.
Which is great.
The way that it was separated is our role is strictly fundraising and grant programs. The School Business Partnership, they focus more on like mentoring programs and things along those lines to help with the student development and to do different things that businesses would be able to help besides just the fundraising component and contributing financially, that they're able to contribute their experience.
Right. Well, the School Business Partnership, I know, has a golfing outing that's their big fundraiser. Do you have a big fundraiser? Where do your funds come from?
We actually just had an unbelievably successful fall fundraiser. Last Friday, we had the Walk for WEF within all of the schools except for the high school, and we raised over $26,000.
Oh,
so
wow.
half of those funds are going directly back to the schools. That was part of the incentive, is that whatever the school raised, they received half back to do whatever they wanted to do with it. So that's going to be our major fall fundraiser going forward because of the success. A lot of the schools, it was unbelievable how they tied it in with Halloween, and they just had all these different incentives for the students, which was great. And then in the spring, we have a vendor fair, which is, I believe it's April 9th. We have it scheduled for 2010. And that is, we have at-home vendors such as Tupperware, Leah Sophia, that we had premised it with the whole, get your Mother's Day shopping done. But this is our third year doing it, and last year, again, because of the incredible schools that we have, we added a silent auction component with experiences. So like Mr. Apolloni made desserts and delivered them to someone's house, and Mary Palin, who's in charge of food services, made a full turkey dinner and brought that to somebody's house. So that really beefed up the fundraising component. So those are our two big fundraisers. Yeah, exactly. So those are our big fundraisers, and then we have smaller fundraisers throughout the year. Like in December, we'll be doing teacher tributes again, so that students can make a donation to the Ed Foundation on behalf of a teacher they'd like to recognize.
Oh, nice. Now, also, I know there are some businesses supporting you in a big way.
Yes. The walk that we had last Friday, all of the water bottles were donated by Lowell 5, and the Wilmington branch had a promotion for every new checking account that was opened at the Wilmington branch until October 31st. $25 is coming to us. So we don't have the figure yet, but we figure that's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Staples Foundation just gave us another grant that they've been very generous with us over the past few years. Danvers Bank, we just received a large grant from them for an enrichment program that Mr. McGinn's working on. The Academy of Traditional Karate in Wilmington, they have always been supportive in their advertising, and they actually offered a promotion through their school that a lot of the proceeds would come back to us. So we're really lucky.
Yeah, the Ed Foundation is definitely making big inroads in Wilmington, and keep your eye on them in the newspaper. They'll be advertising, and at WCTV as well.
And we're on Facebook now, so you can become a fan. Look for Wilmington Educational Foundation. We know not everyone has the time to be on our board, but we're calling it WEF Friends, to have more and more people join us, just to be able to get information, so that if they have the ability to help us in some way, that we can get the information out to them.
Great. Jo Marie, thank you very much, and thank you for the work you do for the students.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, one of the great national organizations that is here in Wilmington is the Lions Club, and we have a new Lions Club starting up. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we have Terry and Jeannie.
Terry Labella of Wilmington, and we're hoping that we can get a new Lions Club up and going. We did have a Lions Club about 5 years ago. They had been in existence for a number of years and great members, and had done a lot of work for the community and contributed a lot, so that we're hoping that we can start a new club, get some new blood up and going, and get people interested to come out and join the organization. New people and enthusiasm and new blood is a big part of any organization. And Jeannie is from Woburn.
Right. We have 3 Lions clubs in Woburn, and there's such a great need. Even though Lions is an international organization, what we mainly focus on is community service, and there's a huge need for community service. There's a need for eyeglasses and vision enhancements, and the Lions have supported everything from hospitals to playgrounds to eyeglasses and hearing aids even. So there's a huge need for it, and we're hoping that the new Wilmington Lions Club will provide some of these services for the town of Wilmington.
And now, do you have regular meetings here in Wilmington?
We are brand new. We are just starting out. We are forming, contacting Jeannie, and her people had contacted a large number of people in town. So we have a base of about 15 to 18 starting out, and we'd like to grow that as quickly as possible. Jeannie did do a survey, and we're thinking that the meeting is going to be on Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock. Right now, we have been meeting here at WCTV, which has been a big asset. Hopefully, we'll outgrow you soon, I'm not sure, but that would be very nice. And what we are, we're starting. We're brand new, and we need people to give us a call, and those of those who have signed up, we need them to participate and help us grow and become a strong club so that we can start to really give back to the community all of the great benefits that a Lions organization can do.
Now, how could they get in contact with you if they were interested in getting involved with the Wilmington Lions?
I can give my phone number and they can call me, or I can give my email address.
Okay.
They can do either one. They can call me. My phone number is 781-223-0855, or they can email me at cst_33n@yahoo.com, and they can just, either way, they can get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to get back to them and give them some details. And we also have a website for our district, and it's www.lions-33n.org, and they can go on that website and they can look and see what our district does. Our district is comprised of 48 clubs in this area, and we have a lot of information on that website. It gives a lot of information about our different programs and what we do, and our calendar is on there, and they can see what some of the fundraisers and the activities are, and get a lot of information off of that website also.
Yeah, we have a eyeglass collection box out here in front of WCTV.
That's wonderful. The eyeglasses are collected, and they're sent mostly to the third world countries where people really cannot afford even food, never mind eyeglasses. And they're just so thrilled when they get a pair of eyeglasses and they can see again, and they're just so happy. It's amazing.
Oh, I'm sure it makes it a little easier to forage for food if you can see it, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
They can also, those of you in Wilmington who know me and really want to help me get a start with the club, if they want to give me a call at 978-658-3805, which is my work number, I'll be happy to point them in the right direction to get them going. But as I say, it's very, very difficult to start any new organization, and we really, Jeannie and her people were very fortunate to get a number of people to sign up, but we need those people who signed up to participate and become part of the club, and actually they'll be charter members, which is a great honor in any organization to be the first ones there when it's starting. But we also need more people, and you don't just have to be a business person. You don't just have to be, own your own business or whatever. You can just be a homemaker or somebody who wants to give back to the community. We haven't really settled on what type of projects we're going to do. The Eye Project, I know, is a very big part of the Lions Club, and they have other things that they're really noted for. But we have the opportunity to start our own and really decide what direction we think that we can help as much as we can. So I'm asking all my friends out there who know me, who know how much I enjoy doing this type of thing, to call us and let's get a club going, and we can have some friendly competition with the Rotarians and maybe the Kiwanians again, because I know years ago that used to be a big thing. They do tribe meetings and they'd work together. I mean, we're all working together to hopefully make the world a better place, and that's what we hope that a new Lions Club can do.
Sounds real good.
In Woburn, we have Rotary and Kiwanis also, and all of the service clubs join together to do projects at certain times of the year, and it's a wonderful thing to join with the other service clubs. And there is a little competition, and it kind of spurs everybody on to do more. And it's just wonderful. And the Lions provide such needed services, as do the other clubs. We can provide eyeglasses free of charge to children in the schools who can't afford them when they have their eye exams with the school nurse, and the nurse finds that they can't see anything. And they know that that family does not have the funds available to purchase those eyeglasses. We'll get a call from the school nurses, and they'll say, I have a child here who needs glasses, and I know the family can't afford them, and we take care of that. We'll get that child their glasses, and it won't cost the family anything at all. And we have another program, it's called Visual Aids Foundation, and we provide reading machines for people who are really visually impaired, legally blind. And this machine magnifies the print onto a screen that looks similar to a computer monitor. And for a lot of people, we've delivered the machines to, it's the first time that they've ever had a chance to see their grandchildren's picture. And
That's got to be quite a thrill.
it's just so emotional. It's just amazing when they see the grandchildren's pictures for the first time, or they get to read. We had one gentleman who wanted to be able to read the sports page again. His wife didn't like reading the sports page to him, and they were both thrilled because he was going to be able to do it himself after that. And we had one woman who wanted to be able to read her cookbooks, and another woman wanted to be able to read her knitting patterns, and people just like to be able to read their own mail and to be able to see their prescriptions, and these machines, this equipment that we provide, lets them do that. It lets them lead their own lives again, and this equipment's all provided free of charge through the Lions Club. We put it on loan to them as long as they can use it, as long as they need it. And all of this is done free of charge through the Lions Club, the eyeglasses. And we also have a hearing aid program now. There is a small cost to the hearing aid program, but still not the thousands of dollars that you would pay for hearing aids. So we provide a lot of services to the community, and even as far as helping the fire departments purchase the defibrillators that they need, and helping the schools fund what they need, playgrounds, and there's just such a long list of things that we can do for the community. So we're really hoping that this will spur people to call us and go on an email or look on the website and join us, because we really do need people to join with us to make this a success.
And it doesn't have to be an older person that joins the Lions. I mean, high school students, if they're interested in community service, that's a great way to start.
Well, they have to be at least 18 to be a Lion.
Okay.
So 18 up to whatever age. We have members up in their 80s and 90s. So anybody from 18 on up.
Now I'll ask Jeannie a question. Do the Lions have any kind of junior clubs or meetings for the younger kids, like in high school or whatever?
We do. I was actually thinking of that today. I was thinking once we get the Wilmington Lions Club up and running, hopefully we can start a Wilmington Leo's Club in the high school. The Leo's Club is what they call the group in the high school. So I was hoping once we get the Lions Club successful, and up and running on their own, then maybe we can start a Leo's Club in the high school.
See, Jeannie knows all of these things. I'm brand new to all of this, so I kind of just following her lead and trying to know. But I do know organizations. I do know people who like to work together and to feel like they've contributed back to the community. And I know the people who were in the Lions Club before. You have Tom Pizzara, you had Mike Burns, you had Jim Buckley. You had a great group of men and women who were who did a lot with the Lions Club, and hopefully we can bring that name back and have and have it be a proud thing to work with and do again.
I believe Tom presented you with the charter.
He did. He gave us which is in my car. I'm going to end up with these things again. I always seem to be the one who holds on to the things, but he did. He presented us with the prior charter, which I believe Simon Cutter had maintained for a while. He also gave us the original bell that was presented to the Lions Club when they were chartered in 1954. And Woburn chartered the original Lion Club back in 1954, and they're not chartered, but they sponsored. And so they're sponsoring the new Wilmington Club also. So we do have these pieces from the past that really do mean a lot. I mean, we would have bought eventually our own bell, or we would have been given one as a gift, but we have these pieces from the past that really make it a lot more interesting for us.
The spirit's there, too.
That's absolutely right. The spirit is there. And Wilmington is such a great community. I've lived here for over 33 years, and it's just such a great community to live in. There's people who are always willing to help. There's people who are always willing to work and provide something, as much as they can, as little as they can, or as much as they can. It's not as restrictive in terms of meetings. I think probably meetings we'll do twice a month in the beginning, and then see if we need a little bit more or less, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, spirit of volunteerism is certainly here in Wilmington.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. It's a great town to live in, and I think if everybody does a little piece, it just carries the load, makes the load a lot lighter for everyone.
So other than starting up the club, do you have any upcoming holiday special items that are going to be going on?
We haven't been established long enough to really do anything. We did go over a number of ventures that the Woburn Club and other clubs have done. They do part of the collecting the coats, where they set up a box and people donate the old winter coats, and then Anton's Cleaners has made offers to clean those and then have those coats for other people who need them. So we're going to look at everything and trying to decide where the Lions will have a nice little niche to give something back.
Well, perhaps,
All in the works.
Perhaps we'll see you hosting one of the dinners or breakfasts this 4th of July coming up.
They used to do that, so eventually, like anything else, you have to get your seed money going, and you have to start doing some fundraising, so we'll be asking family and friends again to help us out, and hopefully one of the dinners or doing something back on the Common would be a great thing to do.
Well, if someone wants to donate to the new Wilmington Lions, they could contact you personally?
They could contact us. I don't know the rules and regulations about donations, but they could contact me, 978-658-3805, or their biggest donation at first would be joining the club and helping us build a good, strong club.
Very good. Would you like to add anything?
We're just hoping that all of the community service-minded people out there in Wilmington will give us a call and come and join the club. As Terry said, the biggest donation that they can give us right now is to become members, because we're looking for members. We need membership before we can start anything. We need to send in for our charter, and then once we send in for the charter, we'll become an official Lions Club. Then we can start doing our fundraising and actually set up our meetings and our meeting dates. And we will probably be meeting at least twice a month to begin with, and then we'll look at it down the road and see what we need. And even though we're meeting twice a month, I don't want people to think, oh my God, I have to go to 2 meetings a month if I'm going to become a Lion. You don't have to come to 2 meetings a month. We would love to have everybody who's a member come into the meetings twice a month, but if you can't, if you can only come once a month, or if you can only come every couple of months, that's fine, as long as you can help us with the community service projects, with our fundraising projects. We don't require that you come to every single meeting. That's up to the individual. I myself have had perfect attendance for 20 years. So I pretty much make every meeting. If I don't make my own meetings, I'm at somebody else's meeting or I'm somewhere else. But there are some of us who like to make every single meeting, and there are people, because of their jobs or their life or whatever, they can't make every meeting. So we don't want people to think that it's a hard and fast rule. You have to come to every single meeting to become a Lion, because you don't. But we like you to do as much as you can. And coming to the meetings is a great way to get to know the rest of the Lions in the club and get to know how things work and what's going on, and the wonderful things that we've done for the community also.
And this is not exclusively to women either, the Lions.
It's not. It's not. At one time, it was exclusive to men, but now we have many clubs that have men and women. Most of the clubs are
I
men.
have a brother-in-law in Rhode Island, very involved with the Lions in East Providence, Rhode Island. And they do quite a bit for the community.
Well, we were talking about it the other day, and it's very interesting because dependent on the community, usually one of the service organizations is the really strongest one in the group. Now, in one town, you could have the Lions really be in force and have a big group. In another town right next door, it could be the Rotarians or the Kiwanians, or it's just funny how it kind of migrates into different areas. But each group, as far as I'm concerned, it's not a competition. Each group has their strong and weak points. Each group has a lot to give back to their community. Each group has things that they're very specific that they enjoy working with and have done a lot of good with. The Eyeglass Foundation and all the work that has been done in those areas with the Lions is just vital and important. And you just need to find a group of people who enjoy working together and who really want to try their best to just make life a little bit better.
Well, could you give me the phone number once again for the Wilmington Lions, the new Wilmington Lions?
Well, I'm kind of like I love TV, so I kind of like volunteered to be here, but I'll be happy to give my number. I'm sure there'll be someone else who will really be responsible for it. But my number, I'll give my work number, which is Wilmington Insurance, 978-658-3805. More than happy to hopefully field a flood of phone calls for those who would be interested. And I know the holidays are coming up, and I know everybody's going to be really, really busy. But if you at least call and say, gee, I'm really interested, and we'll follow up and we'll track you down. So please call, and please let's get something started. And I miss the old Wilmington Lions. They were a great group of men and women. They did a lot. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun with them, and I miss what they contributed. And I know that they missed it too. They basically just, membership is a key, again, to any organization, and they basically just ran out of new members. So we need that blood back. We need new people to join us, and we need people to come and have a good time with us.
Well, I think if anybody can get it going, it's you two girls.
Well, can I just say, you don't have to live in Wilmington to join the Wilmington Lions Club. If you work in Wilmington, if you have family in Wilmington, you don't have to live in the town where the Lions Club is. If you just have any affiliation whatsoever, you can live in a town that doesn't have a Lions Club, although we're trying to make sure that every town does have a Lions Club. But if you want to join the Wilmington Lions Club, again, that's not a prerequisite either, that you live in the town. You can give us a call. And again, my number was 781-223-0855. And even though I live in Woburn, I'm going to be helping to build the Wilmington Lions Club because I have so many years of experience in the Lions. So because they don't know what they're doing yet, they try to put an experienced lion with them to guide them along and help them. So even though I'm from Woburn, I will be helping them and bringing them along and showing them how to go and what to do to be a successful Lions Club. And I'm sure that within a short time, we're going to have a great Lions Club here in Wilmington, and we're going to be up and running and doing wonderful things for this community.
Well, thank you very much for coming in, girls, and believe me, you're more than welcome at WCTV anytime.
Thank you so much. And if I could just put in a little plug for WCTV, to anybody out in our community who has not made use of WCTV, this is, as far as I'm concerned, the most incredible thing that you can do either for yourself or especially for your kids. If you can get your kids down here, join as members, learn how to use this equipment, get all of the knowledge from all of the people who are here. As far as I'm concerned, this is the most incredible organization that we could have in town. And I hope that it will grow. I hope you get lots of programming. I'm sure there are people out there who have great ideas for some programming and just a little bit afraid of doing it. Just take a chance. Just take a chance, talk to all the guys down here, and learn how to use this equipment, because this is just the best.
Well, it was always a hidden gem in the Swain School, and now this facility, boy, come on down.
Yeah, this is a
Well,
beautiful
thank you.
facility.
beautiful.
Thank you again for coming.
Thank you, Walter. It was nice to meet
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Very much.
Can you get a shot of those shoes? They are something, I'm telling you.
Walter, we're all finished. We have all the interviews completed tonight.
Okay.
You've done a wonderful job.
Thank you very
For
much. I
like
hope I
10
made Tom
minutes,
proud of me. Tom, I hope you're
right?
watching out there.
For like a 10-minute warning, you did a great job. We just want to kind of follow up with what Terry had to say, and that is that we are always accepting new members. Right now, it's only $10 to join and $30 for an organization to join, and it's bargain time. It is absolute bargain time.
Big time bargain.
And if you're not so sure about us, come down and look at the studio. You will be blown away.
That's, there's so much to do down here, and it's just state of the art. I mean, what you've seen today is just a small portion. We have WCTV radio, we have high school students and older people that have different shows that they're putting on. So when it's the community bulletin board,
Right.
Instead of just music, you have different people. There's jazz, there's rock and roll, there's heavy metal. Girl was in tonight doing her heavy metal show.
Yeah.
So it's not restricted to just one format. Whether it in the same thing with the movies. You come down, you train with the camera, you have something that you want to do, skateboarding, Cub Scouts, whatever. Come on down, check it out. You can't. I'm sorry. What? Well, we have. Step right up.
I'm going to come in, and if I just may do a quick plug
Sure.
for Rotary. I yelled at them. I told them to call you and make an appointment to come down here. But I won't talk about Rotary organization. That's really not my place, since I'm not a Rotarian, although I very pleasantly have a Paul Harris Fellow, which to me means the world. I was very pleased to be given that, and I'm very appreciative of that. But Rotary is having its annual auction November 20th at the KSC Hall, and it is our largest fundraiser, and those funds go to the scholarships, the baskets for the elderly, and the helplines for the elderly, and just a number of things that the Rotary Club does give back to the town. So I hope that anybody who has some free time on Friday night, the hall opens at 6 o'clock, the auction starts at 7, and we have some great items. People have been just very, very, very generous in donating items to the auction. And times are hard everywhere, and it really just has impressed me how much people have stepped up and donated to the auction. And the other thing, and then I'll leave you and I'll put my mic away.
But you won't.
But the other thing, really, the other largest fundraiser that Rotary has is the raffle. They've had this raffle for well over 20-some-odd years. We only sell 350 tickets. Tickets are $100 a piece, but you can split them up to 10 people. So that's $10 a person, which isn't bad. First prize is $10,000. That would come in very handy this time of year. And I believe 2 prizes of $1,000, 2 prizes of $500, 2 prizes of $500, and 4 prizes of $250. So there's a lot of chance to win. And again, all of that money collected goes right back to try to help either with scholarship, either with the lifelines for the elderly, and all the other things that Rotary really does. So I hope that you will help us either by coming to the auction, bidding, and helping us make it a very, very successful auction, or if you cannot do that, please, please, please buy a raffle ticket. We only have a few left, but every one that we can sell is a big, big help. And I thank you. I thank you for all the Rotarians who didn't call you up and signed up to come here, and I thank you for all the people who do work so hard to try to do some good and give back.
And speaking as one who never misses the Rotary auction.
Oh, great.
Seeing Harry Cunningham, that's worth the show right there.
Mr. Cunningham has been one of our auctioneers for years and years, and he does a wonderful job. He has a great sense of humor. He knows the people in the audience. He has a great rapport with them. Bobby Peterson does a great job as an auctioneer also. And if you've been to the auction, you know my function is to stand in the back and point so that we can see where the bids are coming from. But again, it's fun. We've done it for years.
Well, my husband won the big prize one year, several years ago.
Several years ago, yep. That's always a nice surprise. I know that one year John won the $10,000, but he had to split it with somebody else. He had shared a ticket, and Angela was so excited that I thought she was going to beat him to death as she went running towards him to give him a big hug. But you know, the point isn't even the winning. The point is every single penny that we collect, we try to do good with it. We try to give back to the community. We try to help these kids get a scholarship. I mean, some of the letters that these kids submit, boy, schools are getting way out of line. Schools are so expensive, and you have to feel for these families that, you know, want to give their kids a chance to go to college. So any little bit that we as that Rotarians can help, it's a great thing. Please help us out by buying a ticket. There's a number of people you can call, Fred Kane, Harry Cunningham. You can call John Doherty at 978-658-3805. If we don't have a ticket in the office, we'll get you a ticket. We don't want to be selling any of them that night. We want to be able to sit down, enjoy the wonderful food donated by Winchester Hospital, and laugh at Harry Cunningham.
John holds a ticket for me. I hope he's holding one for me this year.
Well, I hope so. I will remind you.
I want one of them for sure.
Thank you so much for your time, guys.
Okay, thank you, Terry. Well, that's it for tonight.
I guess that's it, huh?
We've been standing here for a couple of hours, so.
Yeah, my knees are killing me. I don't know about you.
But you still have a nice smile on your face, Walter.
Yeah, I try. Tom, I hope you feel better. We missed you down here tonight. I'm sure the guests would have rather had you talking to them than me, especially those Lions girls. They love you, boy.
And just to mention that we are also, everybody mentioned scholarships tonight, but the Thanksgiving game, which we videotape and we do a play-by-play, there's a chance for $100 to donate to our scholarship fund, and every time there's a touchdown scored, your name and your company name will be mentioned, and then you'll be in the credits. And there's two other categories, $200 to be mentioned 4 times.
And there's also a $50 mention.
Right.
That's not quite as expensive.
Too, right. So there's a whole range, and that's in the town crier. In our Wilmington article this week, it's in the town crier, so you can look that up and decide what to do.
Yeah, look that up or give us a call down here at the station, 978-657-4066, and we can get you lined up with one of those sponsorships. It's all for a worthy cause. It's not money that's going to the studio, it goes to scholarships. Every penny goes to scholarships for Wilmington students.
So, Walter, I'll see you here maybe next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you all.
Good night from WCTV.